Beast. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome the Towson University Marching Band.
Tomorrow, would you still remember me? 'Cause I'm as free as a bird now, and this bird you cannot change. Whoa, and this bird you cannot change.
As for advice, get money twice. One from that dirty, and that Chico nice. Y'all call it a moment, I call it life.
When the line is blowing, I'll be in my castle rolling. But until the game's rolling, I just wanna feel this moment. I just wanna feel this moment.
University presents a halftime production featuring melodic woodwinds, powerful brass, thunderous percussion, majestic. Together, they create a tradition. Fueled by pride, driven by teamwork, connected by family, powered by spirit, driven by excellence, filled with excitement, and performed with passion. Get ready to enjoy our powerful, energetic sound. Along with an amazing performance. Ladies and gentlemen, we are the world famous Towson University Marching Band.
Hi, I'm Gary Williams, voice of the TUMB. You might not realize it, but this year is actually very special in our history because we're celebrating our 40th season. A lot has changed over our 40 years.
What an accomplishment to be able to celebrate the 40th anniversary of the marching band. When we were doing the band many years ago, we had to pick up the trash after the game was over to earn $500 a game. I know you've heard that story and the importance that plays into the development of the ensemble now. But I can't be more proud of the work that's been done and the many, many hours that are put in and the many, many people that have been impacted. Congratulations. What a great ensemble.
Don't worry, we don't have to pick up trash in the stadium after games anymore, but that story gives you a sense of how lucky we are to have the support that we do. As the band has transformed over the last 40 years, one thing has been constant at our core, that is our culture. There's a lot of ways you could describe our culture, but the best one is probably that we're a family. That sense of family connects, or will soon connect, everyone in this room. It also connects the thousands of TUMB alumni who have come before you. Here's how they describe our culture.
The culture at TUMB is very much a family culture because the way I viewed it was if you were struggling with something, everybody was there to pitch in no matter who they were. Nobody was going to let you fail. If you're thinking, man, I can't get this, there was no can't because everybody's there to help out.
The culture of the TUMB is what makes it so great. The fact that you can be any size, shape, or color, can have any experience level that there is, and be a part of something much better and bigger than you ever could have imagined. That kind of inclusion is so important in today's society, and know that no matter how different we are, we can all come together and do something truly special and accomplish so many things when we work together.
The dynamic of the band family has been helpful not only in my undergrad, but also since leaving Towson. I've made a lot of lifelong friends who have supported me through a lot of my personal adventures.
I'd say the biggest thing about the band culture was the sense of family that you get from it.
Be a part of a big group and work together, and that's not something a lot of college students have to do, especially as someone who's not living on campus. So that was really great.
It was a way for different high school kids who had just entered this big university with all these people to meet different people and really bond immediately over their love of band and music.
Abso-freaking-lutely.
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 This band, first and foremost, is a family. One that will be there for anyone that is in need. Don't allow the season to go by without connecting with as many people in this band as possible. These are all your friends for life.
The band has always been a family to me. So much so that my very non-musical husband was fitted for a uniform and came out during halftime to propose to me in front of a stadium full of people and, of course, my band family.
The band has always been like a second family to me, and John was a great mentor throughout.
The TUMB culture is important to me because it's always been so welcoming, and I've met some of my best friends and my boyfriend through it.
It was often intimidating to be the only person in a 250, 300 person marching band on my instrument.
But the more senior members of the front ensemble, and by extension the drum line as well, definitely did what they could in order to make me feel welcome and appreciated. Also, I met my husband, Chris Taylor, in the Towson University Marching Band. So without the band family, I wouldn't have my legal family. So I guess that's kind of a big deal.
The Towson Marching Band family has such an important impact on our lives now and when we were in college. I mean, that's how we met, and now we're married, so thank you, Towson.
And we also have friends that we met through the band and we still keep in contact with all the time.
Another key aspect of our culture is that we not only support each other in the joys and excitement of the season, but we're also there for each other when times are tough. Up in Northeast Pennsylvania, there is a legendary band director who over the course of 30 plus years put Lake Lehman High School on the map. The tremendous impact he had on that community was nothing compared to the impact he had on his students. His lessons and philosophies helped countless individuals, but perhaps none more so than his son, who played in his father's band and then followed in his footsteps and became a band director himself. That band director sadly passed away early this summer, but I know that his spirit lives on because the Malauskas legacy is alive and well in the students of his son.
John Malauskas, how has he influenced my life? Let me count the ways.
If I could take one thing from Mr. M that was just so meaningful to me, it was to always expect excellence and accept nothing less. From one teacher to another, that's been really important to me, and I've tried to implement that in my classroom every day, and I really appreciate that from Mr. M.
And now, with Perry Hall High School, I have carried on those traditions. I have really worked hard to make sure the students in my band feel like they are a part of a family, which I first learned at Towson under John Malauskas.
John, since your father's passing, I've read so many stories that people shared about the impact your dad had, not only on their musical journey, but the shaping of their being. I had been lucky enough to have met him on multiple occasions, and I see so much of him in you. Continue to carry on his legacy, as I know I work to carry on the lessons that you've taught me and all of the students that you've shared your passion with.
Em, I always remember your enthusiasm and problem-solving attitude when it came to any challenge. There is no one else who could have made the organization what it is today.
You certainly left an impression on our lives, but we can't leave out that without you, we wouldn't have met, and we wouldn't have started a family.
And who knows, maybe one day Gracie will join the world-famous Towson University Tiger Marching Band, or our little one on the way.
I'm so thankful for my experience in band. I feel like Mr. M taught us how to dream big and how to truly clearly see a vision. I can't tell you how much those skills and learning how to work with people and learning how to logistically make your dreams happen has impacted my life and my career as a teacher. So thank you, Mr. M.
It was a big influence, I would say, Mr. M had on my life because I view it as a phone call that changed forever. When I was 18, I was getting ready to graduate high school, and I wasn't sure about TU's band. Mr. M called me back, and he talked to me about, the band, the culture, the camaraderie, all the trips you take, all the things we do. Everything was together. I spent all of high school saying I was never going to go to Towson. I got off that phone, and I went and told my parents, hey, I'm going to Towson. So, I want to thank M for that.
Mr. M played a big role in our lives as mentors. We both teach music, and a lot of what we learned through our work in the Towson Marching Band, we now use as teachers. So we're passing on the legacy of the band and the legacy that Mr. M has built.
John, seeing all the wonderful tributes to your father, I was particularly struck by his philosophies of diligent practice and breaking down the focus to each individual measure. One phrase in particular struck me as something that could unite all generations of our TUMB family. So current TUMB, now is the time. In honor of our 40th season.
Our 40th season.
Our 40th season.
40th season.
We, the world famous.
The world famous.
The world famous.
The world famous.
Towson University.
Towson University.
Towson University.
Marching band.
Marching band.
Marching band.
Have decided to take it.
Measure by measure.
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 Measure by measure. Drum majors, if you will.